Students, this is your first video on how to use the New York State Mesonet. Once you log into the New York State Mesonet website, this is the screen that will appear. I've chosen Red Hook to be my default Mesonet location, but for your labs you will be choosing a different location, not Red Hook. But for right now, let's go up to the tab here that says About. And if you go to the welcome screen, you can read about the New York State Mesonet, the history of it. But what I really would like you to watch is this 3-minute video over here about how the Mesonet has been used in the past during weather disasters like Hurricane Sandy and Irene. And you can learn about why it's so important to have a Mesonet network of weather stations. And if we go over here to Networks and Standard, you can get a map here of all of the Mesonet stations in New York. And each blue dot is another weather station, and they're located about 20 miles apart, and the idea is to have an even distribution of stations all around the state so that no corner of the state gets missed. Now, if you probably recognize on this map that you have the landscape regions of New York. Here you have the higher elevations of the Adirondacks. Here you have the higher elevations of the Allegheny Plateau, including our Catskills right there. And in the lighter colors, you've got the Hudson Valley low elevation and the Erie, Ontario lowlands, Long Island down here. As you run your cursor over the different dots, you will see the name of the station. So here is Red Hook, and that's the one I'm going to be looking at with you. But you're going to choose a different location, and I recommend you look at this map and pick one based on, do you want one that's at high elevation or one that's low elevation near the Great Lakes? Do you want one near the ocean? You have a lot of different choices of different landscapes and different microclimates that you could look at for New York State in your project. Now, these are the standard Mesonet stations, but there are a few that have extra equipment, and you can read about the different types of extra equipment that some stations have. Our station is right out behind our high school, and it's one of the newer stations, and it does have some of this extra equipment. For example, here it is. That's our Red Hook station, and it has special radar equipment and other things that are actually on the roof of our high school. So we're very lucky to have the special Mesonet station right on our own school property. So let's go take a look at the Red Hook site. So if you go here under General Information, and you can find your Mesonet station here by scrolling down. It gives you all the statistics on your station, gives you a little picture of what the station looks like. So this is right up behind our building. And you'll need some of this information for your lab. Now let's go look under General Information under Sensors. So this is what is typically installed at a station. It consists of a tall, about 30-foot tall tower. It's in a fenced-in area to keep wildlife and other things out. And then there's a bunch of equipment that's hooked up there and is connected to the Weather Center in Albany. And if you look at this list over here, you'll see all the different instruments. For example, at the top here, there are 2 wind meters, different kinds, and they're at 10 meters, so that's up high, about 30 feet. There's also a temperature probe up there, a thermometer at about 9 meters, also high up. But then there's another one down below at 2 meters. So you can get 2 different temperatures one close to the ground and one higher up in the air. We also have relative humidity, solar insolation. There's a rain gauge that measures precipitation. There is a snow depth monitor, a camera, and of course we need air pressure data. And then there are these 3 soil probes that go down underground. So that one's, what's the temperature at 5 centimeters? It also does humidity at 5 centimeters depth in the soil, 25 centimeters, and 50 centimeters in the soil. So that's the equipment that's on our Mesonet. And like I said, that other special equipment that's on there is, for the most part, on the roof of our school. Now you can click on any one of these and get more information about it. Okay, so any of these will give you a little bit more information. So the last tab here, the weather tab, you have several options. The current weather and the future weather, or the forecast, maps, and meteograms. And in our next video, we're going to look at how to interpret the weather data, current data, past data, and future forecast data using the Mesonet station. We will use Red Hook as an example, but you will be doing something similar for a different station and in your lab. So I'll see you in the next video, number 2, on how to use the weather data on the Mesonet station. See you then.